Never centered. Hello, everyone. Hi, Kai. Hi, Wolfie. Hi, Bookie. Did I miss anyone? Is anyone else? I think those are three I saw. I know Wolfie got banned because he died, which is funny. Hello and welcome to our, not necessarily final crowd control stream, but, or sorry, final world building stream, but our final one for the, indefinite future. Thank you, Wolfie. Loaf, stop. Come here. Everyone say hello. Come here. Stop it. Stop walking around the back. What's under tabletop? Oh, yeah. Go in. Go in your bed. So, also I mentioned, but I update the bank a little bit. So there's new bank-based things. Okay, RPG world building. So today, final until D&D campaign, correct. And then we'll probably try to plan for another one shot. You know, obviously depends on how well it goes and stuff like that. And whether I have people who want to do another one, whether it be the same people, new people. I like to get new people, but you know, we'll figure that out when it comes. Because I'll have to make the crowd control pack too. And then I have to align schedules with all the people. So again, I'll announce before the D&D campaign happens. Just have to figure out when that will actually be. Also, let me turn on my lights. So, that said, we have player backstories. I've gotten the general backstories from all 4 of our players. And today we're going to put those in our notes, and then we need to connect them into our actual one-shot. Because several of them have, like, motivations that they're coming here for, you know, different things, and we want to make sure that is, like, integrated into this one-shot in some fashion. And that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna turn on the crowd control world building thing to once again give you guys like a vessel to add to things. I don't know like how useful it will be here, but I'm gonna turn it on regardless. So let's swap over here. One moment. I need to do this. Okay. So here's you guys. You good, babe? So here's you guys' world as per usual. Let's do this. So actually delete that. I just made that. Let's delete that. Where are my one shots? Here we go. I'm going to make a thing here for players. This is going to be for the player characters. Give it a little people icon. Oh, I wasn't thinking this one, but that works. So for our players, let me get them up on the side. One moment. Crowd control one shot. Okay, so let me make the pages for each of them, and then we will go through them one by one. The first one is alloyed growing darkness wets. Then we have Antonius 2 feet. They haven't decided their name for this character yet, but our other player has decided Gossipy Bard is kind of their vibes. We're just gonna put that in for now. And it looks like a Lula. So let's go through these one by one. So starting at Alloyed, that sounds right. So Alloyed is an artificer. And so the vibe, let me just copy paste what my player gave me for now. Why is it adding a 1 and a 2? Okay, so basically his whole vibes is that they are this kind of street kid, who considers themselves an evil genius, and their goal is to build an army of machines and mastermind an empire. Very good at being an artificer and making those machines, but he's just not very scary or street smart. He's like 16. No one takes him seriously. He's never actually hurt anyone. He mostly inconveniences people. It's a general nuisance by the populace. Parents are present in his life, supportive of his talents. Despite confused. Can we not? I'm trying to fucking read some shit right now. We got shit to do, chat. Now we just have to sit here and wait. There's a let's put this on a new line. There's a lady knight in town, who has become the dedicated person to handle every time they show some to the town. Sees him as nuisance machines, give her a pretty good fight. Sees his free target practice. Basically the idea is that, like, he thinks he's like an evil genius. It's very Megamind vibes, where like he's like, yes, I will destroy you, and like the lady knight is his like arch enemy, right? His rival. And so you know, always does these little like mock fights, I guess. I mean, you know, mock fights enough. All this kind of stuff. So the things we need to plan for this character, they haven't given us very much information about the Lady Knight, so we need to come up with who is the Lady Knight, name, general demeanor, and then I believe, yeah, she went to the city, Osvetis, and didn't come back. Why didn't the or let's two things. So why did the knight go to Osvetis? Why didn't, or I'll say, hasn't she returned? And where is she now? What is she doing? Right? I think those are probably the big things for this character, is we need to figure out their little rival person they're trying to find. Where are they? What are they doing? All that vibes, and we can like put them in Osvetis. Next we have Antoni's 2 feet. Let me go get their vibes again. Scroll up. Okay, once again, I'm just gonna kind of copy paste. Halfling rogue named Antoni's Tony 2 feet. Member of the 2 feet crime family, deals dealings throughout the empire. Middle child, known as Big Loser, with many failed business ventures, a mouth bigger than I have right to have. Almost favorite, got a pass. She died recently. Father sent me off to infiltrate the effort to retake the city, come home with something special and whatnot. Don't like to try and hide my affiliation, but given my distinct lack of skills, people tend to think it's bluffing. And just try and get rid of me. I'll never live to bust. And then I also asked him if he had anything else he wanted. Let me also just manually write in here. Mom was very religious, was a member of the religion of salmon, and so is he. He is an adept swimmer because of this. So I gave him a list of all the religions we had, and this is the one he chose. So with this, let me reread this over a little bit. So we need to, so things we need to add the 2 feet crime family, just general info about them. He's a brother and a, or no, that's the father, and there's a brother and a sister. I don't know if we want to do anything with them or not. Gonna put this on a new line. Right, so he needs to find something special. I don't know what that necessarily encapsulates, but Okay, bye, Bookie. Thanks for popping in. Y'all work on a Saturday, Bookie? I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so this is basically the info. Do we want to Saturday and Sunday this week? Damn, that blows. I'm sorry. Both closing shifts. Yikes. Butts indeed. Okay. So adding like 2 feet crime family into our notes. They're also do we have any members of the crime family in Osavetus? Alternatively, a rival crime family in Osavetus, right? So we could add some like competition. And then either we should make something special, or we can just also kind of leave that to the player, right? They might see, because we added some various like magic items and stuff, so maybe there's something in there they'll be like, ah, this is what I think is special. I think those are the main things. There's not too much to do here. For Gossipy Bard, there's not. This is definitely one of a very chill one. So let me. This one's probably gonna be bullet points because they didn't really give me like a big paragraph like others. So, they love gossip and secrets. Uh, they have some dirt on Weaslaw the Holy. So we need to come up with dirt on them. They got a tip that there's hot goss within the city, and they want to get it first. Maybe a secret magical item. Maybe hidden by someone. They also said that they'll like follow the will follow the possibility of goss, but doesn't have to come to fruition. If I can spell fruition. I can't, apparently. I think that's it. Yeah. So maybe add a little to do here to make sure I separate these lists, which also, for the sake of consistency, to do. Okay. So for our Gossipy Bard, I think we need a list of maybe like 3 good goss secrets, right? To like scatter about. That could be like interesting. What dirt do they have on Weaslaw the Holy? And I guess yeah, the hot goss could be one of these list of 3 potentially. And we already have some magic items, so I think that's the main thing. Finally, let me look at the last one. I think they sent me a whole doc. Yeah, so they sent a whole doc. Warlock. I think they might be changing Fiend Patron. Did they ever get back to me? Let me check. Let me ask them real quick. And we'll come back to see if they have that information. But basically, they're big study vibes. They like books and collecting knowledge. They might be a fiend patron, but they might change that. They are talking about like being related to House Lamar. They want to find like a lost book or artifact of PSAC. Okay, they have a best friend named Mink, apparently. Rival novice historian Cadence, H. Graham. Okay. And then grew up studying. Oh, and they're from Canadian Canada. Basically, a bunch of study, a bunch of shit. Now employed by House Lamar. Document trade. Yeah. And so I'll kind of summarize this a little bit. Mr. New, I see that you've added a thing. Again, we are, again, to be clear, focusing on trying to integrate some stuff. So ideally, these things are helping to do that, but tell me what your idea is. Actually, I'm gonna put this on this monitor. Make another kind of checklist off of this. Well, let me do this. I think that's fine. Okay, so their goals. Goal is to find a lost book artifact of PSAC. I think determining like what that is probably good. Then they have other NPCs. Are they involved at all? Which we have Mink. We'll say best. Actually, I'll do it this way. Best friend Mink, a Fae. Rival novice historian. Oh. This is historian Cadence. I'm just gonna write what they wrote, but I don't entirely get what they mean by Cadence. Maybe I'm being a silly guy though. Graham. I assume H. Graham is the name? I'm confused. According to the stories, Pavrom moist cake was first gifted to mortals by a lesser known halfling. Okay, so this is not related to what we are doing today. Okay. I will add this to our items. A reminder, we are trying to do a specific thing. Pavrom moist cake. Also, heart isn't a thing in D&D, Mr. New. Like, there's HP, but it's not like Minecraft. There is no hearts. There's 1 HP, which is minuscule. Often around Cool. I've added your cake to our thing. Okay. Okay, I see you're adding. It's just a basic healing item. We probably needs to not be. Let's heals 2d4 plus 4. That's the same as like a normal healing potion in D&D. I think that would make enough sense. Look at SCP 1025. Is this relevant to what we're doing? SCP 1025. It's a hardcover book. The Encyclopedia of Common Diseases. Is this the item you're adding? And is this meant to... So to be clear, we have a one shot coming up that I'm going to have real players playing in. Like that's what we have been setting up for a few months now. And my players have finally given me their characters, their character sheets, and their backstories. So today we need to go through and like integrate these backstories into our one shot to make sure that like all the like the connections and stuff for oops, I didn't mean to underline that. All the connections and stuff for them are like in here. So we need to like I'm trying to make these questions that we can essentially answer. So that is I'm also throwing up the crowd control because it could be a good way to like introduce some of these things. But that is generally our goal. One moment. And then also their patron is Fluffernuts. What's it called? What's that religion called? They decided to be part of the cat religion, the church. The church of this. Okay, well, I don't want to just literally, this doesn't, we'll have to reflavor this book for, oops, that's my code. We'll have to reflavor this book for D&D. Is your, not necessarily all met in a tea club, like we already, so let's review some things for those who have not necessarily kept up or anything else. So we have this one shot, which is the Siege of Ossavetus. Ossavetus is this town that we have been working to build this one shot around for a while. The core idea is that it's overrun with undeads and this giant undead called the Forgotten One. The Empire, the Holy Empire of Montianti, is basically getting the party to go in as like an elite squad of people to go and try to destroy the Forgotten One. And then we've made a bunch of various like clues, information, NPCs, all these different things that can prevent it, or not prevent, they'll help them do that. And we have a couple main ways for them doing that. So it's not necessarily we're trying to figure out how they start. We know how they start. Like for example, this person, they have this extra NPC as part of their backstory. In their backstory, they're coming to the city because this NPC is supposed to be here and lost. So we need to make sure we like create that NPC and we like put them in somewhere in the city that's interesting. Does that make sense?
New chat challenge has begun.
Lost book in the backstory or a fake version of it. For did you have a which character? Hold on. For Lula? Which let me finish writing this. Oh, I already have this. Fine. So they got ties to the sword. Exactly, Mr. No. We need to make sure that like all of their stuff. Oh, you were trying to do the challenge. We're trying to make sure all of their stuff integrates in here. So that they have a like the reasons that they're here, the reasons that they're whatever feel like it's actually there, right? Is there anything else we need to know? I think they're looking for a lost book artifact of PSAC. They have other like NPCs in their backstory. Is there anything else we need? Any patron involvement? if we want to find any kind of
Challenge
patron stuff.
over.
So, so you, it was Kai, it was you. You voted everyone but yourself, and you're the one who said it. That's very funny. So I was thinking of the last book. Okay, so you're talking about for Lula, I'm assuming. Um, damn, that's very funny. Okay, I don't like. This we're gonna have to D&Dify this book. I think this could work. So let's figure out how we D&Dify this SCP thing. Which where did I put it? Here it is. I'll bring it up over here. I'll do like a this thing real quick. So first, what do we want to call this book? Do we have an item thing, or no, they're just all in normal pages. So we want to call this book, because we're not going to call it SCP-1025. Let me read over this as well. Also, there's a lot of crossed out things. A Canadian book? We could. They are from Canadian Canada, so that could be relevant. What diseases are in D&D? They don't really. There's like unique D&D diseases, but like they don't really specify. We could also technically make our own. I'm gonna call it the Canadian book for now. I mean, there's stuff like lycanthropy, right? Like turning into like a werewolf, all that kind of stuff. The Encyclopedia of Common Diseases was printed. Blah, 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 blah. Exhibit symptoms of a disease they read about. The effects can take between X and X hours to manifest. Communism is a disease, right? I don't know if that's true. So red entry, common cold. So basically, if you read an entry about whatever, you get that disease. I think we should be careful with this because this is a one shot, obviously. So like players will only play these characters once. But we also want to be careful about just like making players instantly sick, and that could just suck. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking something similar, Kai. I think something that's like maybe less about disease specifically. There could be disease stuff in there, but almost more about like magical effects. Like we could even put lycanthropy in there. I just want it to be a thing where it's like, oh yeah, you read about whatever and now your character's gonna fucking die and sucks, dude. Like that's not fun, right? But we could do like fun versions of this that also feel interesting. And we could probably, because if we want to, because we have to tie this into PSAC, so a book from PSAC. We could tie this into the star spawn, related to research and research on the star spawn, corrupted in some magic way. That way it has like some relation to like some logic to it. Yeah. Okay. I think there's some good things here. When one tries to read the book, a random entry will appear before them. Roll a D100, and then we will make a table of all the various effects, which we're obviously not going to be fully 100 entries, to be clear, but we use D100 for stability, consistency. So I don't think we need this anymore. This got the idea. So roll effect. So what effects do we want? I think lycanthropy could be good. I think yeah, like silence in a radius for X hour, and we'll detail these out in a moment, but for X hours could be good. Hello, Mike. Welcome in. What other things do we want here? Let's insert some rows below. No. So we want a fair few so it feels varied. I think we should also have like mixtures of good and bad things so that it feels like there's like a point, like it's like a risk reward type of thing, right? Let's say gain random type of, because there's different types of lycanthropy, for X hours. I don't necessarily want to do that, Kai, because I think pulling in like real diseases in that way could be very insensitive to like people who actually have stuff like schizophrenia. I think we can tie this slightly differently though. We can say because there's a thing in D&D called madness, and there's short-term and long-term madness. So we can have both of those. We can have gain short-term madness, gain long-term madness. Also trying to tell one player that there's enemies but not the others could be very difficult, because also presumably one player is reading this. Also I'm gonna mark your thing as done for now as we're going through this. What else? Let's get, I think let's get 5 bad things, or 5 bad to neutral things and 5 good to neutral things, right? What else is there? Is there a good like magic arms equipment? I mean, I could look at spells maybe. Is there like a yeah, D&D diseases? Yeah, they have shit like this stuff, but I feel like this isn't gonna end up being fun. It's just gonna be negatives. I think this, especially for a one shot, this should be fun rather than like long-term consequence. Also, let's call this the Canadian Book of Common Effects. It kind of combines Mr. News idea with your idea, and also not necessarily calling it diseases. So what we want to do? We need at least one more like kind of baddish thing. We could do Wild Magic Surge, which is, it isn't really bad. It's kind of I mean, more randomness. Which is its own table itself. We could, oh, you know what we could do? Below. Allow player to read DM notes for 30 seconds. This is a thing I've wanted to do in my like real life campaign. Remove effects. Maybe I feel like that's not necessarily, I feel like there should be something that causes something interesting to happen rather than just remove stuff. Blind player, maybe. I feel like that's not, like, to me, I'm looking at some of these, like, silence could be interesting. It's on the less interesting scale, but it could be interesting. Random type of lycanthropy is interesting. Like, short and long-term madness are interesting. Wild magic surge is interesting. Like, these cause very interesting new things to potentially happen. And so I think I'd like stuff more along those lines. Stuff that's going to be like, oh, okay, that really changed the game, especially in the course of a one shot. We don't want to like, we don't really want it to be like, we want something big and flashy, right? Because it's a one shot. We could have maybe like learn one secret about the surrounding area, because these are also, you know, DM tip. These are ways to give information to players if they're stuck almost. You know, obviously depends on if they roll it, but more ways to give players information is not bad. Lore for the NPC. Which NPC? Just any of them? I mean, oh, you're saying the lore for the NPC that you're adding. Giant from the story? Is this, sorry, are you relating this to one of the players? And if so, I'm unclear which one this is supposed to relate to. Think more of the idea, see things that are not real and take it and make enemies around them. Yeah, again, it's just, I think doing something like that could be insensitive, but I think there are ways we can do similar things. Are you saying that all other players can see them? We could do a similar thing that's more like a almost like a programmed illusion. We could do illusionary enemies appear. So we have some really large, really frightening enemies that appear, but the players obviously don't know that. That they're illusionary, and yeah, like hitting them, they have like 1 HP and they die. But we, you know, we put like really dangerous looking shit like a beholder or whatever, and we make it horrifying. That could be good. Try to tie players to the lore. But what lore? I'm confused as to what this is referring. You said the giant from the story. I don't know what giant from the story you're referring to, Mr. New. And I'm not sure which lore this is connecting anyone to. The giant you were talking, was I talking about? Oh. That doesn't quite work. Here, let me, because I see what you're going with. I said a giant. It's less of a giant in the traditional giant sense, more of a giant in the sense of it's literally massive. Let me give you some lore on the, because I guess you haven't been here for some of our other ones, which is very okay. We've done a lot of these world building streams. Let me give you some more details about this so that you maybe understand more about the stuff we have. It also doesn't, we don't necessarily need to tie in players directly to some of the lore. Like, players have their own reasons for being here, right? Lloyd is looking for this lady knight who we need to create. Antonius Tufi is here because he needs to find something special for the Tufi crime family. Gossipy Bard is here because they want some hot goss. Lula is here to find a lost book, right? So we should ideally try to tie into the things the players already care about. So, for just to give everyone a reminder over our lore, the whole thing here is Osavetus is overrun by this gigantic undead creature called the Forgotten One. It is composed of thousands of 400,000 bodies of dead people. Like, it is this massive thing of death that is manifested. It was created during the fall of this, which is basically this lost city of Tandafuji. Nobles ran from a mad king. The mad king tried to take control of this powerful artifact, but he failed. His mind and body were warped by the horrible artifact, and he absorbed the city of Equifta, becoming the Forgotten One. And then, he absorbed all those people and became this gargantuan, gigantic creature that is in the city. Along with, the city is also filled with just tons and tons of undead. So the reason that the undead and stuff can't leave is because of this thing called the Sillinmorphin. It is hidden under this temple, and it is kind of a gateway to the underworld. It was broken by an old order, and it has kind of remained broken. It's enchanted to bring the dead back as undead. Existed since the beginning of time, and it uses energy to repair itself and stop the undead from leaving the city, but it's like slowly running out of energy. And if one were able to, it also doesn't like have enough energy to like properly deal with shit, basically. And so basically, some of the things that players can do is like fix the Sillinmorphin, or just try to like fight the Forgotten One, depending on what they want to do. They can also, there is a special key that can open the Sillinmorphin and allow it to repair itself, which is being protected by this guy, this Zodar named Clavis, in the Arcane Collection Academy. There's also a like cosmic core beneath the temple that can try to, you can make like a deal with or whatever. But this is the general stuff, and we can also expand on this. There was things here I was like, we can still expand on parts of this lore, so we don't have to exclusively do player stuff today. Exclusive, definitely I want to focus on one-shot stuff, but we can add more things to this, or things to, because there was stuff in the Ossavetus I wanted to add some more stuff to, but that is the established thing. And reminder, in our Discord, in the Worldbuilding channel, we do have a pin to this wiki that everyone can read. If you want to go read into the details on this. Okay. Book, illusionary enemies appear that are very dangerous, but have 1 HP. Also, mind you, we're also gonna have crowd control during this, so there's already gonna be a lot of wackiness. Let's have just a really good one here. Full heal everyone. Everyone in 100-foot radius. Paper cut, instant low damage? What do you mean? You mean if you get a paper cut on this, you do low damage? And we need one more good, like, fun effect. For the book. I feel like that'd be hard to communicate. Like, again, it's also, I don't know. It's not necessarily super fun. Like, all that low damage does is make fights take longer, and on a one-shot where we have limited time, I don't necessarily know if I want to make fights last longer. Summon random magical item. That's not a bad idea. What we'll do is we will summon one magic item, one random magic item from basically from a 1-mile radius. So basically some magic item that's within a 1-mile radius will just like appear before you, and then we can basically be like, that's the space of the city, right? And we can just go through what magic items we already have and just be like, bam, this is what you get. Cool. And then we will make this 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to, oops, to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60, 61 to 70, 71 to 80, 81 to 90, and 91 to 100. This will be our table. Okay. This is great. So I'm going to put answers, and then I'll put it here. The Canadian Book of Common Effects. Okay. So now where do we actually want to put this book? So let's open Asavetus. Asavetus. We can also, like, sometimes when in the middle of like D&D, we could, like, I might move this book around if it becomes relevant. But my thought is either, so the logical place would be, well, Canadian, we're not in Canadian Canada. We are here. If we reference, we are, Asavetus is way up here. Canadian Canada's here. Our player is from Canadian Canada. But Asavetus is way up here, so it's pretty far from Canadian Canada. But our player is from there. I think a couple players might be. I think they liked Canadian Canada, so good job, chat. But if we want to make it obvious, the PSAC hub would probably be like a good spot to put this book. Arcane Collection Academy is also a pretty good spot to put this book. If we wanted to be more obtuse, we could try to put it either in the arena. Does see have a bathhouse? I mean, we haven't decided that there's a bathhouse. We could make one if we want, but a reminder, because I'm already a little worried about this. This is a one shot, and I don't know exactly how long we're gonna go. I have to talk with the players, but like, it is a one shot, so we don't have like infinite time. So we can't have things where it's like players go to a billion different places, because we don't have the time for that, right? So ideally we should keep stuff to like the main sort of locations we have, you know, our big locations. Our big locations, at least right now, is an airship yard, PSAC hub, which is a hub of where they would send out different ventures. We have the Arcane Collection Academy, which is like a library that was made in made by PSAC. This is also where the Fancy Key and Clavis the Zodar are. So players will they might not even find the key. These are like the obvious ones that it could be in, right? If we wanted to get the players to potentially have to go to other places, though, we could say it could be in the fortress, because there's a lich here. And right now we don't have a lot of reasons for players to go into the fortress, so this could be a good thing. It's like maybe the lich stole the book, and then maybe, you know, the players tried to go to a place like, oh no, that book was stolen by the lich. That could be a potentially good thing if we want the players to encounter this lich. Or we could try to put it in the arena. Maybe it got to the arena from some way. There's also technically the Temple of Moor, though I don't think this really makes sense necessarily. There's also Hunter HQ, which it could be here. Maybe someone would have the book, but I feel like that isn't necessarily interesting. So let's do this. Let's run a poll. Great poll. Where is the book? So our options are PSAC Hub, Arcane Collection Academy, Fortress with Lich, or Arena. And the arena has basically this giant plant creature. Does it have a picture? Yeah, it's like a giant like tree type blight thing, and it's infested with frogs. Arena with plants. So I'll let you vote, chat. Where is the book? Yeah, the arena has frogs. It's infested with, it has plants, and it's infested with frogs because we put the weapon of frog friendship here that's being constantly activated. All right, unless we get, oh, Wolfie's coming out and saying the fortress. Right now we have really no reason for players to necessarily go in the fortress, but this could be one. Okay, give it a second just to finish up. Okay, it is going in the Arcane Collection Academy. So we will say the Canadian Book of Common Effects is stored here. Where do we want it to be stored? Bathhouse in some cities for players to heal. I mean, players are only going to be here. Again, one shot. Like a bathhouse doesn't inherently heal you. There's places players are going to have to like do a short rest or whatever. But like this isn't like a running city. This is very much a city of survivors. Stored in the pants drawer? What does that mean? I don't know what pants draw means. Right, where do we want this book within this library? We have this one random guy who's just kind of here hanging out. And we have the Zodar, who I guess does nothing, so it's not really dangerous unless you start fucking with it. Do we want it to be just like on a shelf? Do we want it to be like hidden? What do we want? And I guess we don't have to put details, and I can figure it out in the moment. But it could be good to have an idea of like vaguely where could this book be? How hidden is it? Where you store your underwear. I don't know if they have that in a library. Like, we could say, okay, let me think. Also, let me do this just for safety. I'm gonna put like potential locations. Could be on a shelf. Could be locked in a hidden safe. And then could be in an office of the past like I don't know, what would you, head librarian. Why is adding an A? Head librarian. In a dresser, in a dresser's underwear drawer. And that will give some options at least. Okay. Oh boy. The tourist store going for with a 10% tax refund. Well, I don't know if they should have a one-of-a-kind book in the you know what? This is already a silly thing. Could be in the tourist shop. Just on display as if it were for sale. Or, I mean, we'll say 10, 9 gold, and 99 silver, which doesn't make sense. Okay. So we'll do that. Let me on here. This is within the Arcane Collection Academy. I want to make sure I have the information on each of the players in case we need it. Okay. Mr. New, I'm going to refund your other effect also, since you weren't clear on the lore and things. Okay. So I guess let's finish up this player and then we'll go to another one. So they have other NPCs. They had a rival novice historian, H. Graham, I'm assuming is what their name is. They also have a best friend, Mink. Do we want these characters to be involved at all? These are just extra information players gave us. We can involve them, we don't have to. Like, we could put Mink somewhere, we could put H. Graham somewhere, like maybe he's in the town also looking for stuff. Those are all options. Do we want that? What do we think? We could just have like Mink show up sometimes. Can we give one of the characters one Pavlovian moist cake? We can put a Pavlovian moist cake somewhere in town. We'll put, like, let's not just give it to them. You know, let it be a surprise. So we'll put one in the, where was, the temple? Maybe Hunter HQ. In Hunter HQ, they have Pavrom moist cakes for keeping fed. And then players can potentially get one from them, is what we'll do. Okay, on PCs, I think let's go on the one nope, this one shot. NPCs, let's put well, let's add an NPC. Mink. A Fae, I guess fairy probably. I mean, does anyone, we don't have to do a fairy. Just what type of I think that's all he said. I think they just said
Confused.
okay, we're just gonna sit here and wait for 15 seconds. This is more effective when we're playing a game, not writing. Do we want it to be a fairy or do we want it to be something else? There's lots of types of fae. I don't think they specified. Since they didn't specify, that means we get to choose. It is annoying. Any thoughts, chat? Fairy versus something else? For example, there, oh my god, there's kind of just like, I don't know, D&D common fae. Yeah, there's like Eldrin, satyrs, dryads, you have pixies and sprites. Giant goose, is it? Is this, I don't know if this is the actual thing, but large fae. We can make it a giant goose if that's what you guys want. Why don't you go hunting and you can get food, or well, foraging is probably safer, but I mean, you said it, so I'll say a fae giant goose. Let me get a stat block for that if it's relevant. Oh, ads are coming. Great. A fae giant goose. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah. Fae giant goose. No, I'm not gonna fully heal you for free. Why would I do that? Also, no, I guess I do. Plot connections. They are the best friend of Lula. And we can either just put them somewhere or we can just have them like show up sometimes. What I can do is I can, where's, oh god, I'm lost. Here it is. Mink, best friend of Lula, might just show up sometimes, and we can just kind of like put them in there as like a grab bag almost, which is kind of what I'm using this as. Like if I need an NPC, we can like throw an NPC in. And we can maybe use the other NPC as well, H Graham, but I don't know if it's worth adding that complexity. Here, I will, well, let me wait for the ads to finish. And then do we want any kind of patron involvement? That means they are Their patron is Fluffernut, a cosmic cat. They are the cosmic entity at the head of this religion. Actually, no, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Here's the church. Their warlock patron is Fluffernut. You guys tell me if you want Fluffernut to be involved in this adventure at all, and if so, how. Hello. Also, welcome back, Mike. What's our thoughts, Chad? Do we want also I'll try and keep this zoomed in, even though it's awful for me because I realize it's probably hard for you guys to read. But do we want Fluffernut the cat to be involved in our one shot? They are the patron of the player. We don't have to like directly involve them. They can just potentially come up if the player like tries to ask them for anything, basically. But they don't have to be relevant if we don't want them to be. Don't see a reason. Yeah. So if they ask them for something, they may decide, but it sounds like we don't need them to necessarily be involved. It sounds like we don't really care that much about these other ones involved very much. I don't think we're going to involve H-Gram either, unless anyone says anything. So I'm going to remove this. We're just going to leave it at this. Goals, find this book. Okay, let's go to our next one. I'm going to jump back up to the top. So, reminder. This is Aloyd. They basically are like, they're basically Kid Mega Man. Not Mega Man, Mega Mind. They think they're like an evil genius and they're trying to like do little schemes, and they're mostly a harmless kid. And they're an artificer. They make a bunch of like little machines and stuff. And every time they do, there's this lady knight in town who comes and like, okay, kid, let me deal with you. And like he considers her to be his arch enemy. And like all this stuff. Oh my god.
In Canada, the Canadian kind, you see, the 7 Archer crafts pure fantasy, with dice in hand and notebook full of lore.
Who is this? Who is calling me?
His giants skate on lakes of frozen glass.
Why? What is this call?
Each session with NPCs who monologue.
Oh, you caught it off.
So if you seek adventure strange, yet grand, go roll with Archer in that snowy land.
You're calling me on the phone. This phone call doesn't make sense. Who are you? Why are you saying these things at me?
This is a telesales call for some Pavrum moist cake.
I don't want any. Please go away. Okay, unless So we need to this lady knight's like the good one. They, you know, they kind of how do you say
Thus
it?
selling £4
I can't. Can I hang up this call? Can I hang up? No, you have to hang up. I can't hang your call up. But basically, like the lady knight's like, okay, I'll deal with the kid. And they kind of humor the kid. But the lady knight has gone into.
store.
No, you're fine. You can also do exclamation point hang up.
Sorry.
I'm just teasing you. But yeah, there it is. So we need to figure out who is this lady knight. We have no information about this lady knight other than they kind of humor this kid. Why did they go to Osavetus? Why hasn't she returned? And then what is she doing there? So go. Let me start making a page. First, we should figure out her name. What is the name of this lady knight? Does anyone have any ideas? Any thoughts, chat, on information about this lady knight? Lady Pavram. Is she related to your cake? Why are you obsessed with these cakes? Also, is Lady her first name? She's not. I didn't think she was nobility. We don't know. So the player literally left all of this up to us. The player said, there's a lady knight in town, become the dedicated person to handle a Lloyd every time they show up in town, sees him as a nuisance, machines give him a pretty good fight, she sees his target practice, haven't decided any specific info about her, so you can make all that up. Caesar is like a big figure, or a big sister figure, so we really don't know any information, so we can make up most things that we want about her. Our big things is, who is she? What is she like? You know, some general descriptions. Why did she go to this city? This horrible undead city. Why hasn't she returned? And what is she doing? Is what we need to find out. Lady Nana Pavram. Is she? Is this implying that she is like nobility of some kind? Is is she like, why do we have lady in front of her name? Former nobility. Okay, hold on. Well, so let's start getting this down. And don't forget, everyone can shout out ideas. And we'll figure out how to make them work properly. Former nobility. Lady Knight is a ghost that manifested as player and returned to life in Osavetus. Let me read, because again, these are player backstory stuff, so I want to make sure that like all of this fits. I mean, just did a knight. I think there's also something to be said about like player perception, right? They said there's a lady knight, so presumably they like have armor and like they come up and they handle Aloyd every time. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's a literal knight. All we know, he comes into town, he inconveniences people, is considered a nuisance. There's a lady knight in town, becomes a dedicated person to handle every time he shows up in town. She sees him as a nuisance. Doesn't say, yeah, it doesn't say anything. So we could, I guess, have that be the case. I just want to make sure we don't conflict with anything the player has told us. Okay, hold on. There's a lot of things. So former nobility, more of an attendant. Yeah, so the player's going for like a Megamind thing where like if you have seen Megamind, where like they are like this kid who's like, ah, look at my creations, I'm a mad evil genius, and they like create all these machines and stuff, and then this lady knight is like the hero, and they're like, okay, let me deal with your shit, kid, and they go, they destroy the machines, and the kid like looks up to them and they're like, you're my arch enemy, and like is dealing with that. So kind of attendant in sort of way. Okay, so if we go with the ghost route, how does that work? How do we have to make sure that this makes sense, especially for a player related thing? Like why would they be able to do that? Because the whole thing is that the undead can't like leave Osabetis. So what would be the exclusion here? Also, I will put where's a leather jacket and okay, maybe okay, I don't we'll say where's a leather jacket. I don't know about also I don't remember what Fonzie is. I do want to somewhat maintain I mean we don't know Mr. New. I do want to maintain somewhat of the player she is supposed to be the sort of good counter to his evil, and she's also we know she's somewhat kind. Bound to an object instead of a place. We could do that. Also, this is more of a where's a leather jacket. We could make her like I don't remember what Fonzie. Who the fuck is this? I don't know who this is. No, I have no idea who this is. The name is familiar and that's about it. Yeah. Manifest before the gates being broken. That was broken. She was lured into the city. Okay, this could work. This could work. So she was nobility in her past life. Is a ghost. This is so silly. Is a ghost who manifested before the Silmorphin was broken, but was well, we'll say it was broken before the Silmorphin was broken. Is bound to a specific item. What is our specific item? This has to be an item that would realistically be able to be in town. And then presumably someone will have like taken the item to Osavetis. Or it could even be an item of the players that was like stolen or something beforehand. Like that could be a fun thing if it was like it was the player's item. That's why she was always around the player. A cookbook? Why a cookbook? A ring necklace. Yeah, a ring necklace bracelet definitely makes it's a very standard type of thing. Also want to put this on a new line. Sounds like a lich a bit. Not necessarily, because it's more like a lich is more about like you are bonding other people's souls so you can survive. This is more of like a ghost that is just bound to a specific item, right? Like ghosts that get trapped in a place because of an item. They can only, you know, be within X area of that. Common sword. There's some good ideas here, and I think I almost like the idea of this being a player's item. And I'm like, you remember it has to be something that the player wouldn't think about like losing necessarily, or it being like super important to them. Also, I mean, right, they don't, players barely have basically the basic stuff right now. They are an artificer, so they have lots of, you know, like machinery stuff. It has to be something that coin from a foreign country, maybe. Yes, it has to be something that they will have held on to for years. Maybe even like been in their family or something. And like, okay, hold on. I have an idea. I have an idea, chat. I'll be right back. I'm gonna, so ironically, for this character, this person lives with me. I'm just gonna come get them. I'm gonna interview them on stream. One sec. Okay, come over here. Okay. Can say something? Oh, chat can't hear you. That's the only problem. Just talk loud. Okay, they might hear you. Just talk loud.
Okay.
So essentially, your character, what is? I need you to give me an item that's maybe been on your person, maybe in your family for a long time that you recently lost.
An item that's been on my person, maybe in my family for a long time, I recently lost.
Yes.
Hmm. My first thought, and maybe this is fine, maybe I don't need to think about it too hard. My first thought is maybe like a granddad or a great granddad was also kind of mechanically, and so maybe I got like an engraved wrench or like something like that that I have always used specifically on my stuff. Let's go with that one. Let's go with great granddad. My great granddad was also kind of
Inventory.
For some reason my brain is saying clunky, and that's not the word I want. And yeah, it was I think it was passed down as an heirloom that nobody like wanted, but they saved anyway because like whatever. And then when my dad saw me be an inventor, he was like, "Oh, perfect, you can take this." So I think it's a family heirloom, but also the family didn't want it.
Sure, yeah.
So it was given to me as like, here, bequeathed to you, and you can hold on to it and get it out of our junk drawer. And I'm like, fantastic, or whatever my voice is gonna be.
Great. Okay, and so you recently lost that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's all. Slightly shut the door, just not all the way, please. Thank you. Okay, chat. Let me. Where was I here? No, I'm catching up on all the things you guys were saying. Raises the rate of discovery. We don't have a rate of discovery in D&D. That would be so hard to figure out what that means. Yeah, I almost like the idea. So, a wrench that was passed down through the generations and given to her by her, well, it's a him, that was passed down through and given to him by his grandfather. And so I almost wonder if we should make it like she's like a ghost of someone, like her great grandmother or something. Has to be near the wrench to exist, manifest. And so we said she's former nobility. Does that still make sense? Does that mean our players long lost nobility? I guess they could be. And so I mean that's kind of sweet actually, if we have the idea of like the player is, or like the ghost is like almost like humoring her great grandson. Like that's kind of sweet. Listen, I was doubting you guys when you talked about her being a ghost, but I'm kind of feeling it now. Okay, so how did how did she not, she lost this wrench? What do we think caused this wrench to become lost? Is it more of a thing where the pull from the Silmorphin brought the wrench to the city, or is it more of a like a trader coming through, or someone like stole it, or it got like whatever, or maybe it's even like an unconscious thing where like someone brought it to the city unconsciously because the Silumorphin made them or something. Like what, how did Wrench get from them to the city? Also put like always humors is there fucking Aloyd and takes care of his uh his evil ways. I think I am gonna say like great times a lot, and or I'll just say ancestor of Aloyd. Was told when his father went into debt. Well, I honestly want to like see some of these things you like that the player didn't specify that, so I also want to be like, hey, I'm telling you that you and your father went into debt, right? Like that doesn't, that feels weird to like tell a player what their backstory is. Like he's about he says his parents are totally present in life and generally supportive of his talents, despite how much he wishes he had he wishes he had a tragic backstory, and that's part of the character, is that like he doesn't, which is the funniness of it. We could go Greek on it and say that fate want this player to go to Osivetis. Maybe. Again, still like yeah, I'm definitely down for like the idea of like fate or something. Lost it in a bet. I mean, the player doesn't know how they lost it necessarily. Bought by a traveling tradesman when the house fell out of nobility, a lot was sold. Well, remember, this is something the wrench was lost recently because the player's been using it in their hometown or whatever, and because the wrench was near them, this fake lady person, or not fake, this ghost lady person was there and was like playing the part of the hero or whatever, right? And only recently has she gone missing, which is what causes our player to go to Osivetis. So we need something that recently happened. I don't, the player isn't nobility, so I think this is like, yeah, maybe a long time away. I mean, we could say that they're not an ancestor of Aloyd if that's what we want to do, and then that's how they got the wrench if we want to do that as well. But I mean, we definitely do like the type of thing. We could have the type of vibe where, like, you know, it's like when your parents has like a box of your old stuff and they're like, oh, this kid is, because again, this kid is 16. They're like, oh, this kid doesn't need this stuff anymore. And they did like a yard sale, or they traded it to a traveling tradesman without thinking about it, because they're like, oh, it's some old wrench, and they, you know, didn't realize. We could go that route if we want, which is simple enough. Yeah, I mean, yeah, also like accidentally fell out of his bag. Like there's lots of ways he could have lost it, whether it was sold to someone, whether it was like yeah, carried away by a bird, fucking sure. Yeah. I think the question so me wrench was lost by Aloyd. There's lots of ways we could have it lost. Let's figure out first, how did the wrench get from the player's village, presumably, to Osvetis? Was it happenstance? Was it something related to the like the Silumorphin underworld portal? Was it like fate? Like what caused, be it a tradesperson or a criminal, you know, someone who stole stuff, or a bird, to go to this undead city, which is not, you know, like a very, it's a pretty out of the way city. So what caused it to get from A to B, you know? After X, it traveled to Osivetis after Y. So the X and Y are what we need to fill in here. Like I don't mind something even as silly as like a bird carried it, because that's, I mean, we have plenty of other silly stuff in our world here. We can just say it's happenstance if we want. I feel like we could have something more interesting by you know, in some other manner, but because we also have to then question, where is it in Octavetus now? And is that interest, like we could actually, you know what we could do? Okay, guys, tell me what you think about this. What if we say that this wrench in some machination, Kai, we're on the same brainwave. I was gonna say, like, in some machination, a familiar is like a good idea, was gotten by the Lich in the fortress, because the Lich needs an extra soul to keep them going. They're like, oh, there's a free soul, and they're just like going around and then popping and getting a soul. Was there ever a disaster that would require a lot of tradesmen? I don't know about disaster. The city itself, I mean, again, because I don't know if you were here earlier. Sofon? How do I say your name? I don't know if I said that right. But basically the city is overrun with undead, so it is a massive disaster here. The city was originally built to be a sort of both a religious hub and a military hub, because it's sort of a blockade against this, which is a city of like star spawn evil things. All bunch of evil stuff lives out here, and so the city was like supposed to be a blocker to stop the evil things from coming off over to this side. So I like the idea of the Lich like orchestrating this. I think that makes a lot of sense, and it ties into things. After Charles the Lich got his familiar to gather items that stored souls, right? Which is basically what this is. An undead bird noticing it was extra shiny. Yeah, we could say that his undead bird familiar it's like, ooh, that's got the shine of souls, or whatever it is. And this gives us like a reason for it to actually come here specifically. To Acevedos, and delivered it to him. And so now it is within his lair or whatever. What do we think? What is the range that she can like how far can she go from this wrench, do we think? Like, can she go the whole city? Can she only go a small part? Like, how far away do we think she should be able to travel from this wrench? Let me also start writing some of the stuff down on here. Okay. Lady Knight is lady. 100 meters. So basically just we don't have to put a specific number on it necessarily, but we can kind of put it in terms of like things around. So we can basically say that she can show up within the fortress, right? Just trying to get an idea of like, where will the players see her, and how can other things give hints about her, right? Because we'll want, oh, sorry, Mike, you'll be back. Because we'll want to be like, if she's like asking around, have you seen this lady knight? Maybe people will be like, oh, we saw a knight up in that fortress or whatever. As far as a row can dash, potentially. My concern with that is that's going to be really hard for the player to find. I feel like if we gave it like a good rate, like this almost radius, it would allow other players to know about it. Were you not? What do you mean? You were attacking a monster, Mr. New. you were attacking a monster, and then the monster attacked back, and the monster also hit Mike and killed him, if that's your confusion. But you are, in fact, attacking a monster. Okay. Yeah, the monster attacks back. So, okay. So, she is a ghost attached to a wrench he lost. Charles, I forget what we named our fucking lich. Charles had his familiar steal and bring the wrench to him to absorb the souls from items. So maybe he's got like a bunch of items up there he's like going through. I'm gonna say she can manifest in parts of the fortress. And so then our book is here, right? We'll add some stuff to our clues and information. There's a strange book from Canada in the Arcane Collection Academy. The common effects. I want to put this in our like clues. There's a knight woman who sometimes appears in the fortress. This is connected to Lloyd. I don't know how we're gonna do this as a one shot. We're really gonna see. I'm hoping I don't take too long on these. I think that works. And this answers our questions. We know why she can't go back. And I imagine what she's doing is trying to escape in some way or inform people or something. How will we handle the roaming of the Forgotten One? I don't know, I haven't thought about that hard yet. I mean, it'll probably be a thing where I will decide where he is, and then maybe over the course of the one shot, I will basically roll a dice and determine which way he's going. So like I'll be like, okay, he is currently over here, and then I'll roll a dice and it's like he will go this way or this way or this way or something. Have you ever played Stellaris? It feels like yes, I have. It's been a few years since I played it, but I did play Stellaris way back in the past. It's been a while. 2020 is the last time I played Stellaris, so it's been a hot minute. But I have played it. Okay, I think that is pretty good. That gives us a connection here. We have the book for our other player, which gives them a connection. I think we're doing pretty good. We have 2 out of our 4 players set, I think. I feel good about this. I feel pretty good about this. I feel like we could have more here to this player, but I don't entirely know. It also might be fine. Again, this is a one shot. So okay, let's move on to Antonius 2 Feet. So reminder, they are a halfling rogue, member of the 2 Feet crime family, does stealings throughout the empire. Wondering about the scenario with the ghost being able to summon a mage hand to move them places where they want to manifest. I think that to make things simple enough that the ghost knight lady is probably not magically inclined. Like I think she's probably very simple, and I think it also fits with like the player talked about her just kind of being a knight and destroying. I think she has like a sword and arrows and stuff or whatever, right? I don't think she can probably do like mage hand necessarily. I imagine that to feed into the element of this, to make it make sense, that she probably can't move her own wrench, right? Like I feel like that's like kind of ghost logic. Like you can't move the thing you're bound to, someone else has to do it, which is hence why she is kind of trapped. Right, but right, he's his dad is the Don of the crime family. He's got a brother and sister. He's known as a loser in the organization of many failed business ventures. His father wants him to go retake the city and come back home with something special. So let's add some quick stuff here. Where's our factions? Let's add the two crime family to our faction list. Do crime all throughout the empire. I don't know if there's anything else we want to add about the two crime family. This is about the information that player gave us. We can put information about the Dawn of the family. The loser son of the family. I'll just copy this for a second. A son of the Dawn. Or I'll say son of the Dawn. A daughter of the Dawn. And then do we want to put any other information? Does anyone have ideas for what the two crime family might be about? Any other details about them we want to include? So again, so you guys can rate, I'll zoom in a little bit. And then outside of that, so I've done this. Do we have any members of the crime family in Ossavetus? Alternatively, do we have a rival crime family or something? That is funny. I do like that. Hates things with more than 2 feet, including inanimate objects. But yeah, do we have any members of the family in Osfetus? If so, what are they doing? That could end up being a thing where it's like competition against him, but within his own family, which kind of leads to the family trying to get rid of him and never living up to the family name. Like, is he going to fail again? Or we could have a rival crime family that's trying to do something, and like that could also be a moment where he tries to, you know, do something. It's also part of the religion of salmon. He also needs to find something special. And that could we could leave that up to the player as to what something special is, or we could try to come up with something specific. I don't know what a crime family would want. We could make sure we try and find like some criminal type items. The McDingus crime family. Okay. The McDingus crime family. How are rivals of two crime family? What makes them? I guess they just both try to do crime in the same area. Do we have any details on the McDingus crime family? And then what are they doing in the city? Are they also just trying to find something special? I think it would be good if we come up with like one really good like crime-based magic item or something that everyone could be like looking for. Also, did it get rid of my... Oh, no, okay, never mind. They do everything wrong instead of they end up giving the bank more money. So they're not really a crime family. They do everything wrong instead of giving money to, or example, instead of robbing a bank, they end up giving them more money. How do you even do that? What is the how does that happen? Do they do it on purpose, or is it are they fucking up? Don't forget, anyone can throw ideas out. But like, are they? I see. Their intent is criminal, but they do it so badly that it ends up the opposite. Kai, I see you are adding an item. Is this our criminal-based item, or is this just an item? Oh god. We connect to cast random 8, 9 level spell and point of contact. Only destructive spells with a single targeted. Oh, and there's a lot here, Kai. My immediate concern is that this is too powerful, Kai. On point of contact, only destructive spells. Closest living thing to the point of impact. Is the thing you throw? Activates when dropped from or if got hit by an attack. Snails start to appear near the orb if it does not touch the ground. McDingduses want the wrench to fix their 3-legged table despite the 2-feet crime family. Why do they want this wrench specifically versus just any wrench? And how do they know about the wrench? Um, just better quality than most. Perhaps. Again, I also am not sure how they would know about this wrench. I don't imagine this is like a legendary wrench or anything. I love the idea of connecting to player stories. Big ups. Love doing that. But I feel like we need maybe something more there. I think we need to refine this down a little bit, Kai, as often happens with some of your magic item ideas. I think there's maybe also... Yeah, Orb of Annihilation actually... Oh, I guess it's a Sphere of Annihilation. That's what I'm thinking of. Orb of Annihilation. I don't think I spelled that right. Annihilations? No. So is the idea it just does a big destructive spell wherever it hits or lands or whatever? And then what's the deal with the snails? Why are there snails? They heard about the wrench from gossip because they failed to steal in the first place. Okay, wait. There's some of what you're saying is nonsense, but some of what you're saying we can work with this. Hold on. I'm gonna go back to this real quick. Put this under operations. We could say they were originally hired by Charles to steal the wrench from what's his fucking name? Lloyd. However, in typical fashion, they failed. And gave the family an extra wrench. After learning that Charles got, can't hear the stream? Unmute. I have audio. Okay. After learning that Charles got his bird to get the wrench, they weren't going to be upstaged by a bird. So I had it muted. Okay. I thought that might be the case. So they are trying to sneak into there and steal it back from the Lich to give to the Lich. I don't think they have a good plan, but I think I like they're like, we're not gonna be you know, we're not gonna be shown up by a bird. A democratic majocracy. I mean, sure. I mean, you could just say that the only people it's democracy, but the only people you can vote for have to be magic users. To be clear, we're keep your idea on the back burner. We're not doing that today. Today we are very focused on setting up for our one shot. And then we will get to that. Maybe if we finish up our one shot stuff, we can add those, but I'm very, very focused on one shot stuff today, ideally. Let me look what spells are just to force the player to be more alert. Maybe we could go with 5th to 7th level spells. It's just here's what let me speak out loud, Kai, to your Orb of Annihilation. My concern is too powerful. Could even like the high could be just very powerful, which isn't necessarily bad, but it could just be very chaotic. I don't know if it's necessarily better than just a more focused magic item. Having to pick spells randomly is really annoying because there's no easy way in D&D to do that. I would then have to like figure out on the fly how to pick a random spell because it just doesn't have a way to pick random spells, which is really annoying. The snails are a fun idea. They start seeing snails, but then that's an extra thing I have to keep track of on top of, where I have to be like, you start to see snails appear around you, right? Like it adds a lot of complexity, and I don't know if it adds a lot of meaningful interaction, if that makes sense. What do we have so far? So for people coming in, people whatever, let's do a quick review. So our one shot is Siege of Osabetis. Basically there's this big city. It is filled with undead. There's this giant creature called the Forgotten One, which is like made up of the bodies of a bunch of undead. And the players need to go in there and destroy the Forgotten One. They can just try to literally fight it, or there's this unknown to them. There's this thing called the Silomorphin, which is like a gate to the underworld that's broken. And if it is fixed, it would be able to like get rid of the undead, essentially is what we're saying. There's a couple ways they could try to do through arcane skills, but it's very, very difficult. There's a special key they can get that would do it, but it's being protected by this guy. There's also a ritual they could do but that was only known by this cosmic warrior that's beneath the temple. We have our players. We have a Lloyd who's basically like Megamind, but he's like 16 and you know, is hitting puberty, and he's like, I'm an evil guy. His villain name is the Growing Darkness, and he has this lady knight who is kind of like the hero that she kind of begrudgingly puts up with him, and we've come up with that they are actually, it turns out she's a ghost that's attached to a wrench that he lost that a lich stole. because it has like a soul attached to it. We have Antonius 2 Feet, who is part of the 2 Feet crime family. He's basically a failure of the crime family. And so his father sent him into the city to try and find something special, which is kind of what we were doing now. We're trying to figure out details of the crime family, of a rival crime family, and any like maybe ideas on like what something special that they might want to get. We have a gossipy bard who wants hot goss and secrets. They have some dirt on We Saw the Holy. And they just got tipped that there's hot goss in the city, so we need to come with several good goss slash secrets. And then we have Lula, who is trying to find, they're very book and very studious. Their warlock patron is Fluffernut, the cosmic cat from our religion about cosmic cat. And their goal is to find this lost book artifact of PSAC, the Canadian Book of Common Effects, which does a bunch of random shit. That's where we are currently at. Spell and roll the dice in terms of random spells. Well, yes, but like again, D&D doesn't have like, unless I go find all the spells now, or like if I go, okay, look, if I go to D&D Beyond, and I go to spells, I sort just by 9th level, which there's not that many 9th level spells. There's still 2 pages of spells. Also, they have this stuff with the legacy and the whatever ones. So then I have to go and figure out, I have to like count these, like 1, 2, 3, 4, try to figure out what to roll, or I just roll a D100 and try to like, it's just difficult, and it like slows down things in the middle of a game that's already going to be very, very complicated. So I don't know if it's like a good idea, because it adds so much complexity. Does that make sense? The front of the McDingus crime family is DIY shops with a bakery called Oi Oi Governor. Okay. Let me make a list. It's just a lot of work, Kai. Again, it's a lot of work for something that I don't know is like that fun. Like if we just want something that does a bunch of damage, we could just say you do a shitload of damage in a radius of a random damage type. Like think about it this way. Like we can have a lot of things that just do damage because we already have a lot of stuff that just kind of does just complicated stuff, because you guys have added a lot of fucking items. Like we have the randomizer, which is adding and taking stats. We have Staff of Chaos step, which is doing all this. Like we already have Bag of Endless Possibilities, which does a bunch of shit. Like we already have like a lot of like, what is the point of something that like this one, right? This one's incredibly complicated. That's right. This one's insane and does like a bunch of effects. Like what is think about it this way. Like what is the goal of the item for a player? What is it meant to enable the player to do that they could not do normally? What is like, is it just do a lot of damage? Because players can already do a lot of damage. Players have a lot of abilities, right? Oops. Players have a lot of abilities. So is it adding something new that's fun for the player? And like, because I don't know if just throw orb, do a bunch of damage, like it could be exciting. I don't know if it's like particularly interesting though, versus them just having an ability. Well, that's just kind of a different item all together, Mr. New. I mean, that's a thing we could do. It's just, I mean, we could have like a coin you flip that's good spell, bad spell type of thing. It's just like, what is what are we trying to give the player experience with this item? We have a lot of stuff that's kind of random and kind of could be good, could be bad. What player experience do we want to bring out? Hold on, I have to finish writing this stuff. The the family is DIY shops with a bakery. I don't know how that makes sense. Called Oi Oi Governor. Okay, I think this is very funny. I'm gonna add this in here. NPCs, members of the What are they? I've already McDingus. Crime family trying to steal a wrench from some members. McDingus crime family have been in the city asking about a wrench and slash or asking about a lich, I guess. This is the rival crime family to the two crime family. Actually, hold on, is it is it okay, no, is 2 feet crime family. Hold on. Not 2 crime family, 2 feet crime family. Well, out here as well, rivals of the McDingus crime family. They hate how bad at crime they are. Okay. Let me add this in here. The rival crime family are in Osavetus trying to find a wrench that Charles Litch has. This is the wrench connected to a Lloyd. Great. See, this is great. I love when we connect 2 different player backstories together. That's very good, chat. If we can do more of that, that would be excellent. That is very excellent. In terms of finding something special, do we want to specify something or let the player figure it out? What do we... that's what Mr. New was saying, Galaxy. We have like example, instead of robbing a bank, they end up giving them more money. Like their crime is so bad, it ends up being the opposite. So yeah. I think that's very likely a thing that they do. They can be very comical. Oh, here comes the ads, chat. Right. Do we want to make a special magic item geared towards crime or crime, maybe even like for the 2 feet family, or do we want to just leave it? Currently, a random summoning spell could be better, Kai. I think come up with a list of good things to summon. Like that could have a specific goal. You're like, okay, this isn't just a bunch of damage, this summons a thing, which could be interesting. Though I feel like we already have things that have random summons. We already have a lot of things that are we already have a lot of items that do random things. I feel like. Which isn't bad, but if we have too much, everything shouldn't be random. Oh my god, I forget what some of this shit is. Also, we can't put all the items in everything. Like, I probably, unless this item is going to be something that is for this one shot specifically, I feel like we're probably not going to add it at this point because we already have so many magic items. Like, we're not lacking. Do I list out where all the magic items are anywhere? I don't think we do. So right now we have this insane staff. What does it do again? All right, we have the staff that makes you cursed. We have the randomizer. these aren't necessarily very crimey. Trying to think of anything here be good for a crime family. This could be crimey. These are mostly nothing. All right, once these ad finishes, I'm gonna run a poll. Because the player could also just decide they end up wanting to find something, or they want to find this wrench so that they go against the other crime family or something, right? There's lots of... I'm going to delete this for now. Change it to an item that allows to use tree side and spawn trees. You could. I mean, again, it's a different item entirely. You tell me. Like, I would need specifics of like how it works in a way that is like very, like, spawn trees is kind of a vague thing. Like, the user can create 2 trees, can like grow 2 trees, one right next to them, one within 100 feet, and then also use tree stride. We could do that. That said, is that really that different from just a teleport? But now you also have trees? It's a little more chaotic, but it's kind of the same thing. They're what? They're what the fuck is that? A member of the Mafia family who serves as an advisor to the leader. I've never heard this word before. How do you say this?
Consigliere.
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 Consigliere? What the fuck? Are pearls of wisdom. I feel like that might be getting away from the plot a little bit, Mr. No. I feel like that, like, I imagine that they've come here just for the Lich. I feel like we start adding shit like they think that the Forgotten One is related to the crime family. That's starting to get like complicated. I feel like keeping some elements of this on the more simple side of them, they're just really, really bad at crime, and they're trying to get this wrench, is probably pretty good. I think, oh, are ads done? Ads are done. Okay, I'm gonna run a poll chat. Do we create a crime-based magic item for this player? Yes or no? Do we want to try to make a specific magic item that is based around crime for this player to find, or do we want to let the player decide what their item should be, essentially? Like, what they care about? Orb of tree travel allows spawn 4 trees of the same type in a line that connect. Tree side with no... Does tree side have size requirements? Oh, I mean, this is at least the same size as you. That's more of like, you have to be big enough, or the tree has to be big enough for you to go in. Yeah, counselor advisor, that's what I saw. Yeah, I feel like that's, I just had never heard of that word before, but I feel like that's probably just, unnecessary at this point. What are we trying to get with the, basically you've made your orb of tree travel I mean, I guess we can put it in. I don't understand why you would have 4 trees, but we'll put it in our items. This orb allows you to use an action to cause 4 trees to grow along the ground in a 200-foot line. All trees are of the same type. You then use tree stride, capitalize that, tree stride, requiring no material components. To travel to any of these trees. Once this has been used, it cannot be used again until the next dawn. I'm gonna say something, Mr. New. I don't know how you feel about this. I've not seen The Godfather. Yeah, that's why I'm over a 200-foot line. They are equidistant. It is what I'm thinking, Kai. Okay. So I think you guys voted yes on do we create a crime-based magic item. So what is our crime-based magic item? You know, some trees can communicate through could the orb do something similar where people are able to communicate vastness? That is, I mean, that is different. We've gone off track, chat. Like an item where you can communicate through trees is theoretically an item, but that is, I mean, different to what this item is. We could make an orb of tree communication. Let's maybe save that for another day, though. What crime-based item do we want? This should be something that aids crime, presumably. I don't know. We haven't really decided what type of crime the 2 feet crime family does. I assume it's just like robberies. And stuff of, you know, general, well, I mean, it's like mafia. Like what? Hold on. What kind of crimes does mafia do? Extortion, money laundering, and fraud, illegal gambling. So like, yeah, what cloak of invisibility? I mean, that already. I guess we don't need to make a new item. That's what I was thinking, but we don't need to do that. I feel like cloak of invisibility is probably. Does that exist in D&D? Cloak of Invis... I feel like that's almost too simple. I feel like if we're gonna, like, have, like, a... Oh, it's legendary? Maybe this is fine. Yeah, maybe this is the answer. A silver-plated fork called Forking Hell that instantly makes people drop their held items. I don't... Is that really a crime item? Like, I don't know how much crime that's enabling. Like, people drop their items doesn't necessarily mean you get them. I think a cloak of invisibility is simple and good. I like the simplicity of it. Where are we putting it? So once again, we have the airship. Well, airship yard. We have PSAC hub. We have the Arcane Collection Academy, which is like a library. So this is like a library. This is like a place where airships would go and come from. So it has like a bunch of like magic items in there already. We have the fortress with a lich. We have the arena with a bunch of plants. We have a temple, and we have the hunter HQ. So I will do a poll for this. Where is the magic crime cloak? Is it in the temple? Is it in the hunter HQ? Is it in the arena with plants? Is it in the fortress with lich? Is in the arcane collection. Yeah, we could give it to the tree. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Category collection academy. Oh god, I'm losing it. Academy. Or is it in the PSAC hub? All options there. I'll leave it up to you guys. Where should we put this invisibility cloak? Right now, we have very few reasons for players to go to the arena, which again could be fine given it's a one shot. We have some reasons for them to go to the fortress. We have some pretty good reasons to go to PSAC hub. We don't have a lot. Well, then people could go to the Hunter HQ. Maybe we don't know yet. Unnoticeable but not invisible. I mean, that's even that's better than invisibility, but I feel like I'm trying to like get us focused right now. I want to make sure that I want to do so much extra work because also like I don't want to have to like make a bunch of special magic items we already have. Okay. It looks like I think the poll tied. And one of you chose the arena and one of you chose temple. Unless I don't see any extra votes. We could do... I do kind of like the idea of the arena, I'm not going to lie. Because we could put the invisibility cloak on the big blight here. And then players will go in and basically just see a bunch of floating frogs, which is kind of hilarious. I think I'm going to choose that since you both tied. Technically it chose temple, but it just chooses randomly, and I'm going to override that. The blight here is wearing an invisibility cloak. Which is making the entire tree invisible. This causes the various blight creatures and frogs to often appear as if they are floating. I think that's an extra interesting interaction there. Okay. Let me mark. There's an invisible tree creature in the arena. Some people speculate it has an invisibility cloak. And a link to all of this. I will put on here. The arena has a big tree wearing invisibility cloak. Okay. We are on to our final person. Once we finish our final person, I would like to go through our one shot in general and make sure we have enough information about all of our various sections and places and make sure those are filled out meaningfully. And then maybe we can do some non one shot specific stuff, but we'll see. Okay, Gossipy Bard. Basically, they are all about gossip. So our two questions are, they have some dirt on we saw the holy. What kind of dirt might they have? We know nothing about this guy except I think he's He leads an army. Leads an army for the Holy Empire of blah blah blah. Led a rebellion against a previous empire. What dirt is there on Wisla the Holy that the player could have? Maybe more on his unknown for us son? What do you... Are you saying he has an unknown son? I'm not sure what you mean. Can you expand on that? And then outside of him, we just generally need some good goss, aka secrets, to have in the city. The son, but was not mentioned in lore. Okay, so it's just like he has a secret son. Why is that bad, I guess? What is the problem with him having a secret son? What issue does that create for him? Does it like, does the son mean he was unfaithful and so that might lead to him being kicked out of his job? Like, does the son, his son's done something horrible, so he has a secret son, has a secret son that maybe his secret son, like, I don't know, is a psychopath and killed his wife or something when he was young? Or is the son still a secret? It's unclear to me. He was erased from public knowledge. Ooh, that was, I like that. Erased from public knowledge using magic. Because the sun... What did the sun do? What do we know about? Maybe the sun is related to causing something with Osavetus? What if okay, concept. And I don't know if the timelines are lying here. What if the secret son is the Mad King whose name is lost to time? Baby is lost to time because it's the son. And so his son is the forgotten one. That'd be some big fucking dirt. Any objections? I'm gonna write that until someone objects. Uh, I like that. So here, we'll say the dirt that they have is that his son. Maybe we don't tell them directly, right? But we say his son is responsible for the creation of the Forgotten One, right? Like not exactly correct, but like adjacent enough. I'm gonna reverse the order on these. And then we need 3 good goss, right? What do we already have? We have all this clues and information, but is any of this like secret type shit? Polymorphed ancient time dragon, but no one fucking sure. That's insane, but fucking why? Everything else about our world is insane. A polymorphed ancient time dragon. I'll say secretly a polymorphed ancient time dragon. Oh, that's fucking insane. I love it. Okay. And then we need goss. So this can be goss that we already have, or this can be goss that we create anew. I'm tempted to more create something new than other things here, because we already have like kind of clues and secrets we can go. But I think some like big goss stuff, big gossip secret things could be good. Hey, Suanova. I think we need some like big, like almost like tabloid-esque items, you know, like stuff that's gonna make you like that you can learn about in the city. So what do we have? What do we have in here? You know, let's review. So we have hunters in here. There could be gossip about the hunters in some way. There's stuff about PSAC. We could have some kind of gossip about PSAC themselves. Like maybe, you know, they weren't good. I mean, it could be about like the star spawn stuff, because I don't know if that was like, I don't know how public knowledge that really is. I'm gonna use a notepad real quick. So we could say goss on or I'll also say secret about hunters or a specific hunter. We could have some secret about PSAC itself. We could have a secret about the existence of the star spawn, and I think that could be good in general, about how like the star spawn exist, and the magic meteors and stuff they came from.
Challenge has begun.
What else? Where else would be good potential for goss? I mean, there's a lich. Do we want goss about the lich? We still don't really know much about the lich, do we? Oh, no, yeah, we do. We wrote a bunch of stuff.
Key 14Y08 wins the challenge.
I forgot that this was an Eldritch lich. Give me secrets, chat. What potential secrets do we want within our city? We know we have a lich. We know we have you know, the big invisible tree, which do we know how it got there? Not really. We know of PSAC, who like collected a bunch of stuff and went on these expeditions to create magic items from the star spawn. We have all the mining stuff, which we haven't done anything with, which we don't need to, but we haven't done anything with. We have the library. We have the Zodar, which do we know why this is here again? Laboratory under the arena? Is there a laboratory under the arena? Or are you saying we're going to add a laboratory under the arena? Is allergic to, that's not really, I don't know if I would call that goss. We can say the cosmic horror is like trapped under the temple. We also say the existence of a portal to the underworld, aka the Silin Morphin. That was the reason for the tree being there. I didn't write that down. I don't remember that personally. I just don't remember putting specific reason. Because I remember just not having a lot about the arena in general. I don't know if I want there to be a whole laboratory, because I feel like that's, again, with I ideally I'd like, because it's a one shot, I like Iris to be very one note. The Lich is bolding and wears a convincing way. I think the existence of the Lich is not a known thing to begin with, so I don't know. I'll add it to the list. I mean, I think the Lich is bolding. I don't. Okay, you know what? Is bolding and wears a convincing wig? I don't know about that. Insight into the collection of the academy. Yeah, I was looking at this. I was like, is there something with the Zodar? I don't, let me look at Zodar again. What is their deal? Like, where did the Zodar come from? We know it protects the key. Oh, it's created by Moore to protect it. Doesn't feel like Goss necessarily, though, you know? Like, what, how do we add Goss here? Like, we got to make it scandalous. I think that's what kind of defines gossip, is that there's some element of scandal. So what is the scandal here? How do we scandalize the Collection Academy or PSAC in general? I'm gonna use the bathroom again. Chat, think about how to make all of these things scandalous, and then I want to hear your essays when I return. Gossip: the Lich had an affair with his neighbor's girl. Okay, let's spread it. We already have some gossip about the Lich, and again, the Lich isn't known. Also, I don't know how like that's gonna ever come up. Like, I could see the wig maybe coming up if they fight him and his wig falls off or something. But like, this also has to be stuff that we can like reveal in some way. And again, let's spread out the goss, right? We want to have goss in multiple potential locations. Let's not focus it all on one particular individual. I think something with like PSAC or the Arcane Collection Academy is good, since they are around a lot. We need something that's scandalous about them in some fashion, or that can be made scandalous, right? I forgot this guy is made from massive rotting material. Like, can we do something with Clavis the Zodar or something? All right, chat, you're not giving me anything, so we're gonna go to my tool and see if this helps inspire any ideas. To the secret generator. Let's generate like 25 secrets and see if any of these feel good. What does I am addicted to a fire giant mean? I am sick with an addiction to eating a Baylor. uh, okay, wait, here's an idea. What if all the hunters are undead too? And they're reborn. And if the Silin is fixed, they'll also die. That's some goss. I have a hidden talent in finding directions using the sun. I'm not open about this because I don't want to be targeted by anyone who's envious or resentful over it. A secret small group of undead that still have their consciousness improved. I mean, that's what I think I've just kind of talked about the hunters being, right? That the hunters can be like reborn that are that's basically reborn are basically undead but are conscious and have free will. And they're trying to like kill the undead or whatever. So I think that can be some good goss. I think that's good. I think we can keep the Lich, I guess. I'd like to have a good secret about like PSAC. There's this Society of Arcane Collectors, because I think that would be good to have some like dirt on them or something, but I don't know what it should be. What is good? What is some good dirt to have on PSAC? I don't remember what is a Cockney accent. Also, I'm not like insane at accents.
Hello and welcome to English Like a Native.
Come with me.
Ooh. See, then you said
That's
come
drop.
with me.
I don't know. We'll see what happens in the moment. Probably not. I probably am not skilled enough to do it consistently. I feel like there could be something here with the star spawn stuff for the hungry. What if like the leader of PSAC was a star spawn or something? I don't know if that makes sense. I don't remember how intelligent star spawn are. Let me look. Oh yeah, 18. Host of Starstone Parasite. Is that like an actual thing, or are you just saying in general? Yeah, I feel like the idea of like, yeah, like a parasite or oh, like they could be a greater Starspawn emissary or something. Oh wait, no, hold on, they're huge. Oh wait, no wait. Have assumed to a lesser form suited to infiltration. Yeah. They could be like their lesser form, and they could like be trying to. Okay. I think this would work. The leader of, I'll say, secretly, leader of PSAC was a star spawn emissary. Which let me also link. Also say a disguised Starspawn emissary that was oh come on. Trying to work against Osavetus. Osavetus and the Holy Empire so that they could succeed. That's pretty good, Goss. Okay. I'm going to copy that. Let's go to the one shot. Do I just have this in there? More clues, information. I'll do Goss. And then Goss, Charles the Lich is balding and wears a convincing wig. All of the hunters are reborn and are undead but hiding it. So people don't attack them. They will be destroyed if the Silmorphin is fixed. I feel like that's probably good. I feel like that's 3, and then there's, you know, also plenty of other hidden clues and stuff, right? So, I feel like that is good. And then I'm not gonna put them. Don't boo me. Hello, Duck. Welcome in. We're just about finishing on the main work here. Okay. So let's do a quick review on everything that we have done for our players. So we have a Lloyd. We've decided that their lady knight person is secretly a ghost attached to a wrench that he lost, that the Lich had his familiar steal and bring him. Similarly, the rival family, the McDingus Cram family, originally tried to steal that wrench. But they fucked it up because they fuck up everything. And so now they're trying to steal it again in the city. And they're a rival Cram family to Antonius 2 Feet, part of the 2 Feet Cram family. Also, they're looking for a special item. There is an invisibility cloak that a big tree is wearing in the arena. Our Gossipy Bard, we know they have dirt on We Saw the Holy, and the son responsible for the creation of the Forgotten One. In addition to that, we have several other
Chat is running a poll to decide, how do we feel about Corey?
You fucked it up. Oh, actually, it still accepted that for some reason. You put too many lines, but you got away with it for some reason. You only need one line in between each one to be clear. Anyway, we got several bits of goss about the Lich, about the leader of let's realize he's back. And about the hunters. Nope, it worked. You're wrong. I mean, I don't know how it worked, but it did work in fact. Then we have Lula, who is a very studious researcher of Canadian Canada, who came looking for a lost book, the Canadian Book of Common Effects, within the Arcane Collection Academy. We could also, I feel like we could maybe do some more with Lula, but I don't know for sure. We know that they have some friends and things. We know that they are a warlock whose patron is Fluffernut the Cosmic Cat. But I don't know if there's anything more we want to do there. Let me wait for Duck's poll, which tied on none of the above and all of the
Chat's
above.
poll of how do we feel about Corey has concluded with an answer of all of the above.
And it randomly chose all the above. Of course it did. Thank you, Duck. Let me do a quick poll. Are we satisfied with player backstories? Yes, this looks good. No, we need more. What do you think, chat? Are we satisfied with all the players, or could we add more to some people? Thank you for your contributions, Duck. Also, chat, go watch my new video, which I just remembered I put out today. Okay, chat's looking like they're voting yes. In that case, we might be about wrapped up here, which we also streamed for about 3 hours, which is what I normally go for. Is there any other details about Osavetis and the one shot we want to finalize, basically? We have, as a review, we have the temple. We know that there's some kind of secret thing that brings you down to the hidden Silmorphin place. And beneath there's a massive cosmic horror. They're stuck, but the players could potentially help them do a ritual if they try. We know that the Silmorphin can be fixed in a couple different ways. I still wish we had a third. We right now, for ways of succeeding in this, we have destroy the Forgotten One or fix the Silmorphin. I still wish there was a third option, but I don't know what that should be necessarily. We have to those points, players could just try and fight the Forgotten One, or we have the hunters who can provide knowledge or tools or weapons or things. We have the Arcane Collection Academy, which is where the Zodar is, who has the key that would fix the Silmorphin, along with various books and things the players could get. We have Obolesky, who's hanging out here, and the Canadian Books of Common Effects. We have a fortress with a lich, which is basically all we have in here. Is that we know the lich is in here. And we can also say we know that the Lady Knight is here. We know the arena has frogs and invisible tree. And then we know the PSAC cup has mostly lots of magical items. Are we satisfied with all of this? I'll do another poll. Are we ready for the one shot? We got a good bit of info. I probably need to make some generic maps for battle maps for depending on where they are, but information wise. Alright, people are seeming pretty confident. I think we are probably good here. And then the next time we do D&D stuff will be the game. I have to have a session 0 with my players still. I think it's set a day. I'll let you guys know what that date is, but I think we are looking pretty good here. There's some good details we got here, guys. There's some good details we got here. Okay. Well, chat. Great. We might be about done then. Oh, Kai, you wanted to add an item? Real quick, what's your item? Ring of Explosive Overkill. This one... If someone/something is killed in range of 20 meters of the player, there's a 1 in 4 chance to make dying person explode where the damage is equal to the damage of the last hit. Oh my god. Okay, I might simplify this because again, you have made it very complicated. Which makes it very hard to handle in the middle of a game. Explosive overkill. If a creature dies within 60 feet. Yeah, I'm gonna change this bit. If within 60 feet of you, you may yeah, for simplicity's sake, you may use your reaction to trigger an explosive overkill. When doing so, that creature explodes for... I'm not going to do the damage equaling things. It's simply too much to keep track of. But I will say explodes for... We'll just do like a fireball, basically, an 8d6 fire damage. What I will say is I'll let you get basically combo effects off this. If another creature dies from this explosion damage, you may repeat this effect. Which could be insane. But or honestly, maybe here's one. I would say you must repeat this effect. So if you choose to do this, you could cascade damage over and over, which means you could also hurt your teammates. Which I think is funny. This isn't a bad idea. That adds a little bit of that unintended side effect type of thing. Okay. Yeah. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I think we're probably gonna wrap up here. Maybe you'll get more Elden Ring from me later today. I don't know at the top of my head. Or I'll just play it alone. I don't know yet. But for now, at least, I think I'm going to hop off. But it was great doing world building. I know some of you very much like our world building streams, so let's go and let me look at something real quick. I'm looking at who we have around to. You guys want? I think I'm gonna send you to Rim World. I can't tell. Either that or I'll send you here. Okay, we're gonna raid. I'm gonna figure out who we're raiding in the moment. We're gonna do credits. As always, thanks everyone, all the stuff, yada yada. Yeah, bye.